So happy June, everyone. Juanita again with my monthly message. And we're coming into this month with a lot of heaviness. May had a lot going on. We saw the draft opinion leaked around the reversal of Roe v. Wade, which was, taking away or could be taking away the say that women have over their bodies. Then we saw the white supremacist shootings in Buffalo, where 10 people who were just in a grocery store doing something that you and I think is just a normal thing to do never left. They never went home. All because this person had this idea that white people were going to be replaced by people of color, in particular Black people, and he wanted to get rid of them. Then 10 days or so later, we see 19 children and 2 adults killed in an elementary school in Texas. And so I don't know about you, but I just know that when I saw all these things happen back to back to back, there was this whole feeling in my body of just tenseness and sadness and anger and just all the emotions across the board. Because again, we were seeing someone go into a place that we think is just normal and just take the lives of people just because of whatever reason, whether it was racism, whether it was mental health, as people are saying, but we know it's not, it's more than that. It was confusing and disheartening and angry and just at that time at a loss for words. And I'm still at that loss of words. And, as thinking about going into June and not how do we start to reckon with some of this, the things that are consistently giving me peace around some of this is, one, to be okay with feeling all the feelings that you're feeling. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to just not have a feeling at that moment or words to express how you feel. That's okay. And as we're struggling with this and we're trying to take stock around a lot of this, the things that are constant for me is that praying is one, talking to close friends and families is another, and then this deep belief in organizing is that we have to get bigger and better at building our bases, at holding those accountable, at not only centering the voices of those who are directly impacted, but really, really, truly amplifying them and being clear about the people or the entities that we're targeting those voices towards. That it's more than just saying we need better gun laws. We're being very explicit about what that means. And then when people want to turn the conversation to, oh, it's a mental health issue. No, it's not just a mental health issue. And if we're thinking that it is, then we need to actually talk about funding and support for those that need help. But when it comes to just guns, like people having access to guns, certain types of guns that they shouldn't have access to, no, that's legislative. And we need to have elected officials that are willing to stand up and fight for those changes. And we have to continue calling on them. And when we're talking about the rise in crime, it's not because someone goes out there and just wants to commit a crime. But if we actually start looking at housing, education, and access to jobs, those are all the indicators of where crime could be. But if we actually were addressing those problems, you see crime go down less and less and less and less. Why? Because people have adequate housing. They have access to quality and culturally competent education. They have access to truly good jobs that are paying them wages for them to take care of their families. These are a lot of the different things we're going to be talking about as CVH goes out this summer for what we're calling our Summer of Power, where we are going to be out in communities in all of our 4 chapters, door knocking at various community events. We'll be putting on a couple of events to be able to ask community members around issues that they see in their communities that they want to see changed or that they want to see more of. And being able to push those in power and say, these are the things that we want to see. And being able to have a base of people ready to move to action collectively to make these changes a reality. And I'm not saying these things are going to happen overnight, because a lot of the systems that have been built to oppress us and separate us were built more over one night. And so it's going to take a long time to undo that. But I know that CVH is up for the challenge. I hope that you all want to join us in that challenge and starting to make a dent in some of these things to make some real changes in our communities. And then, as we think about June, we also know that we're coming into Pride Month, right? So for those that are part of the LGBTQ AI plus community, happy Pride, right? Because we're wanting to make sure that all kinds of rights that we're talking about is affordable to everyone, regardless of gender expression, sexual orientation. And then we're talking about legislation and how important legislation is to start to address some of these concerns. And then it's also Men's Health Month, And this is the time that if there are men in our lives that are special to us, we want to make sure that they're going to the doctor and getting regular checkups, particularly Black men, right? And other men of color that don't go to the doctor as often. And we know when we look at health rates and health disparities, various communities that are impacted. So we want to make sure that the men that are in our lives are going and getting checked out. So again, it's okay to feel all the different feelings that you're feeling right now with everything that's been going on. It's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to turn that anger into action, and hope that you all will continue to follow us this summer and be a part of our Summer of Power. Thank you.